Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I am your host, the One Take Man. On my main channel I am doing a series of video reviews on the Witcher books, links in the description, and correspondingly I also have some thoughts on their adaptation, or more precisely on the first season of the adaptation, because that's all that's come out yet. And given Season 2 has just finished production last week, I think this is as good a time as any to give you my review of Season 1. This video was initially supposed to be me going into how I would have done Season 1, but given I've only read two of the 8 books so far, it's possible that some material that is relevant to the stories of the first season would still might come up in later books. So I'm not touching that as of right now. I'm just giving a review of Season 1. So, what makes Season 1 in general stand out? What makes it unique? Well, one thing I have to praise is the casting. Pretty much everyone looks as they are supposed to look, or they give off the right vibes. They make you believe that these are indeed the characters as they are supposed to be. This is what this person really is like, or someone like them would really be like. So yeah, that's one thing that this show absolutely nailed. Another thing this show did quite well is the direction of the performances, because pretty much every performance is at least good. The actors understand what are the defining aspects of these characters, and have been able to consistently bring these aspects to into the silver screen. There is, however, one glaring exception to this rule, and that is our lead and protagonist, regrettably. Don't get me wrong, I think Henry Cavill is a good actor, and he is dedicated to his craft, and his interest does come through, at least as much as with anyone else. However, there is a strange stiffness to his performance. He makes everything. His performance is much dour than I really think it needs to be. Don't get me wrong, the setting in general is a bit dour or darker than it is in the books, but even in moments of levity, I don't really. When he's for example telling a joke, I don't see this as him being funny. I see this as him saying something that happens to be funny. There's a strange disconnect here at play with with him. So I don't know how to explain that. He is still good, but could have been better. What I will praise him, however, for is his physical presence, and that physical presence shines particularly in fighting scenes, or general action scenes. I have to say that in the books, chases and hunts are emphasized to a much higher extent than fights. So pretty much any kind of fight you see in the show has been deliberately made for the show, and I have to say the choreography here is amazing. Like, it always emphasizes just how fast and just how powerful and just what motivations and intentions all these characters have, and they're a masterclass of how to do combat choreography for a small screen. So from an action standpoint, I think this series is wonderfully translated. From a narrative standpoint, the translation is a bit more mixed. There is some degree of simplification at play with all stories, and that simplification at times results in better singular narratives, but it also renders the world at large more neutered. There is less environmental storytelling, even in situations where you could arguably do more than you could within the book. And a lot of the acerbic wit and surprising insights that many side characters would deliver in the books has just been cut completely, and that renders the world as a whole more more sterile, more boring somehow. The show does try to remedy that by bringing in the longer running background narratives of Ciri and Yennefer, but even then these stories tend to fall into the same pitfalls of making everything just seem more brutal, more dark, more dour, and they really de-emphasize character. You don't really get to know anyone to the same extent where you would know them within the books. Everything is bad because the world is just so awful. Oh, cry me a river. So yeah, that's why the narrative is translated pretty badly. Overall, though, I have to say, and this is not okay, not overall as in sum up, but from a television standpoint, I still have to praise this series on its technical merit. The costume and set design looks absolutely great. They look authentically medieval, or close enough to it. They look as though they fit the setting that they were that they were meant to bring to life. And also, I have to commend the cinematography and the sound design. They always follow the action well, and always and are quite adept at directing the audience attention. They are never confusing, at least not when they're not supposed to, and I will say always get the job done. Similarly, makeup, practical, and CGI effects are very good at bringing the fantastical elements of the setting to life, and they don't stand out in a particularly bad or egregious way. They seem like fully fleshed out and lived in aspects of the world. So from that perspective, all I can say is good job to everyone working backstage. You did great. All in all, and this is the overall summary here, my rating for The Witcher on Netflix, Season 1, is a 3 out of 5. While the narrative in general falters quite a bit, a lot of the passion and dedication that has been brought into this series and into making it come to life really does shine through and really does elevate the material. And yeah, that was all I had to say about Season 1, without going into spoilers. I don't think maybe I would go into spoilers eventually if you'd like me to. For now, let's just say I'm sitting on Season 2. And waiting us to see how good it gets. Assuming it gets good. I sure hope it does. But until we get Season 2 and discussing that, I would like to thank you for your attention. Ask you to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and ask you to add anything in the comments if you have something you'd like to add, and also to subscribe, and maybe also ring the bell so YouTube notifies you if you want to see when the next video comes out. Until then, however, I have been the One Take Man.